We're live again at the Migrant Resource Center here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm with George Rodriguez. George, lovely to meet you in person.
Good to meet you.
Thanks for joining me here today. We spoke with Bob Bishop the other day, and there was a lot of activity here. I know you and Bob have been covering this spot and the impact on the surrounding neighborhood. Before we talk to some of the people that are around here, is there anything that you can share with the audience about what you've learned, what you've seen in this evolving situation?
Well, more than anything else, 3 months ago when we first started doing that, there was nobody here, no cars at all. Everything was very, very quiet inside. And since then, you can see that there's activity all over the place. One of the things that has happened is that they have removed the curfew that the center had, and so people are coming and going constantly.
What's the stated reason for removing the curfew?
That's a good question. I am not sure, other than the people, there are so many people in the center that they are allowing them kind of just to walk around so that they can get out of there.
Wow.
The overcrowding inside, my understanding, is really, really bad. But the curfew has been removed. And so there's, I mean, even in the evening, late at night, you will see people going in and out. When we first started filming out here, there were about 200 people being processed in the center. Now my understanding is that there's well over 700, possibly as many as 1,000.
That's not that big of a facility, is it?
It's not. It's, in fact, the number, the occupancy for the property is supposed to be something like 250, and it exceeds it.
How can they have 700?
Well, heaven only knows where they are. We've spoken off camera, of course, to firefighters who were in charge of the health and safety inside, and the firefighters have told us that the crowding is incredible. Not to mention the amount of dirt, the amount of trash. There was also a lot of trash that was accumulating out here, but the city started sending folks from the waste department to pick it up, and they come out here 3 times a day to pick up waste, so trash. So my understanding is that has stopped. But you will see constantly buses going in and out nowadays.
Yeah,
and it is. The number of people that are coming in far exceeds the number of folks that the facility is supposed to be able to handle.
You know, I noticed that there were uniformed police officers sitting in those white tents over there. However, they were not using San Antonio PD cars. They were using their personal cars, which suggests that they're off-duty being hired privately.
Correct. That's
so
what
what's
it
up
is.
with that?
Well, the city is supposed to be transitioning from to a private security firm. However, the private security firm continues to hire San Antonio police
That sounds like a
officers.
waste of money.
Well, again, I mean, you know, it's there's a lot of waste of money that's going on out here. The other thing is that the police have been specifically told, even though they are working in a private contractor, the police have been specifically told that they are supposed to have limited contact with the people. And so therefore, if somebody is misbehaving, they are almost hands off.
Not allowed to arrest them.
Yeah.
So what's
And we have
security?
seen-
Who are they providing
Well,
security for?
that's it. I mean, the neighbors over here have complained about sex trafficking going
Yeah,
on
we heard
late
that
at night
yesterday.
over here. The folks, as you see, there's a crowd. There's a little group over here that is gathered. Usually, they used to ask the people. They used to ask them not to gather there, not to congregate. But apparently, that's gone by the wayside. Virtually all of the businesses here have complained about petty theft or about loitering.
Well, also, how about nobody wanting to come here? The parking lot is empty.
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, you know, now it's very, very interesting. I mean, you've got this gentleman over here right behind us, and I'm not sure exactly what kind of business he's conducting. You've got several other people in cars just kind of waiting around. I'm not sure exactly.
We don't know what they're waiting for, do we?
What business they are conducting. The police officers will drive around here to make sure that there's nothing overt going on.
I think
but we
shooting
don't know
would
what is
probably-
going on. Yeah, like a shooting or a mugging that's happening in the open.
Right.
But
short of that,
who
they're
knows?
just not doing anything.
Yeah, who knows what is going on? We have seen drug deals going down across the street, and we continue to see situations where there's loitering constantly going on. People, I mean, with kids, it's a real sad situation where many of them, they can only stay 3 days in the center, and then they are turned out. And many people, we've spoken to many families that are living out in the street.
Yeah, you can see them over here. It's
Yes.
really unbelievable. I
Yeah.
mean, in terms of something that was put together by a city or just anybody purporting to have any competence at all, this notion of
That's
stay
right.
here for 3 days and then get the hell out, what is that plan? Like, what is that supposed to do?
The whole situation that we've got here, the plan has been very, very poorly implemented or
Poorly conceived.
Conceived. There are some folks who can get transportation and tickets and whatnot onto the other destination where they're going, but the vast majority have to wait. The case that I spoke about last week, it was a family of 6 people, Venezuelans, who have been living in the street for 10 days already.
Wow.
Because, with kids, because they were waiting. First of all, they were waiting to be reunited with 2 kids who were sent in 2 teenagers, family members that were sent in a different direction. But then they were also waiting for their tickets to be presented to them. In the meantime, they were
Tickets
living
to
in the
where?
street. They were going to New York City.
Oh.
Volunteered by themselves, not hassled or anything of the nature. They were on their way by themselves.
Wow.
Yep. So, again, no one had been out here to film or to, the media completely was ignoring this until the story about the Florida governor broke.
Oh, right.
And when that happened, virtually the day that happened, we had MSNBC, CNN, Univision, Telemundo, all of them were out here, and they continue to come out every now and then, but all of them were out here looking for this woman who allegedly was arranging the flights to Martha's Vineyard. The New York Times, the Tokyo Express.
Was that flight arranged from here?
They claimed that's where it was arranged.
DeSantis, wasn't it?
DeSantis.
So what would he have to do with this?
Well, supposedly, there are lots of folks that we've talked to who want to go to.
This guy's looking at us like he's got something to say.
Yeah. Well, we could certainly interview him.
He looks like a troublemaker to me.
Well, there are several. The number of young men here will astound you.
He was eyeballing the hell out of me until I looked right at him, and now he's looking back at us.
Yeah. It is. It's a very, very interesting situation of how many young men we have. We have even interviewed young men who were in the military, or who were in the military. They claim. So this kind of situation, we don't know exactly who has arrived. One of the things that really angers me is how when the DeSantis story broke, the sheriff here in Bexar County in San Antonio pontificated that he was going to investigate the thing. Of course, he's a Democrat. What he ought to do is come over here and investigate
this. Right.
Investigate this.
You stand here for 5 minutes.
Exactly.
There's a litany of crime likely going on.
He ought to check on who these people are, how many of them are criminal, how many have criminal backgrounds.
This guy
maybe even
eyeballing me like that. I mean, I would say, what can I help you with?
Yeah.
Like, what's he doing? He's just walking around. But let me just also remind people that you and Bob have been covering this story for some time. People can subscribe to the Bob Bishop YouTube channel. And separately, George, you've got a radio show. How can people hear you on the radio?
My radio show is called El Conservador, and it's on KLUP 930 AM radio. It's also on the website. Or you can just look for George Rodriguez, El Conservador. The radio show is posted, as well as other interviews that I've done independently. So it's all there, and people will get an idea of what has been going on here. I mean, this is what I call the second phase of the border crisis. The first phase is, all the pictures that we've got of people crossing the river.
Now here they are.
Now here they are. Now what? Well, now what is, this is what's going to be impacting on our communities, on our schools, on our medical system, on our public safety, on every facet of American life. These folks are coming, they're staying. They are not going to go away, and they're going to impact. The cultural divide, you're going to see it because most of them don't speak any English. At the same time, they behave in the same way that they have in their home country. Right here on the street, you will see them jaywalking quite often, and this is a very, very busy street.
That's a dangerous street to jaywalk. Even I wouldn't jaywalk.
But you will see them, darting across.
Well, let me offer another observation, because this is only the second time I've come here, but it's allowing me to develop something of a sense of what's going on. And as you just said, these people seem to be acting in certain ways that are, I've been to Mexico, I've been to Brazil, South America, whatever. I've interacted with people from what others would call third world countries. The way that teenage guy just walked by looking at us, that is the way that a lion looks at a gazelle.
Correct.
They are waiting, in my estimation, to get a better understanding of how far they can push the boundaries of the laws.
Exactly.
And attacks on people like you and I are coming.
They are
They're
coming.
just not yet confident
They are
enough
going
in
to
their
come.
position here.
I worked in the Reagan administration in immigration and the Justice Department. And I remember when the Civil War in El Salvador was going on.
Oh, right.
And the number of Salvadoran young men that were coming to the United States because they were fleeing the military in El Salvador. And these guys were either had been, well, that's how it got started.
Right.
That's how it got started, because they had military background or because they had been trained by the guerrillas, but they came to the United States, no training, no understanding of the culture, nothing of the nature, and they
Hatred for the culture.
Dislike for a country that was involved in their homeland.
Well, that's understandable in that circumstance.
I think
where
that's
we were meddling.
what we're heading towards right now.
I agree, and it's almost, I think it was either you or Bob had a post, maybe Facebook, LinkedIn, where you were saying never in history has a country paid for its own invasion.
Correct.
It's not even a joke. It's here we see a bus arriving, maybe an airport.
That's one of the small mini buses, but that's one arriving, and it'll drop off folks, and it'll pick up folks. What many of these buses do, these mini ones, they will drop off folks that they've picked up either at the bus station or at the migrant station, or wherever the buses, the ones that bring them from Laredo or Del Rio, drop them off. They'll pick them up and shuttle them up here and drop them off here. Now, from here they will pick up people and they'll take them to the airport or to the Greyhound bus station, and it's constantly going on.
Makes very little sense. Now, another thing that's excellent about the videos that you and Bob have been doing is that you are a native Spanish speaker, and you've been able to interview a lot of these people and also set them at ease by speaking their native langue. Do you want to do a little bit of that?
Yes,
right now?
let's do that.
Let's do that. Who do you feel would be appropriate?
Let's start with this family that's sitting over here. They are...
Why don't I hang back a little bit so that maybe they'll feel a little less...
You can chat with them, You can chat with them, and what I find is that a lot of folks are very willing to talk to us and tell us their story. Señora, perdón, oigan, ¿podemos hablar con ustedes? Señora, ¿podemos hablar con usted? Estamos haciendo entrevista. Estamos haciendo unas entrevistas, no tiene que tener miedo. ¿Está bien? ¿Cómo? Nomás queremos saber del viaje, cómo fue. Viene con niña, queremos que nos diga la historia del viaje, porque queremos que la gente sepa que han sufrido, que han pasado. ¿Estaría bien? Ok, muy bien. Vamos a, primeramente, nomás su primer nombre. Rosimar. ¿Y de dónde vienen?
De Venezuela.
Vienen de Venezuela. ¿Y esa es su hija?
Sí, tengo 3 niños.
Tiene 3 niños. ¿Y dónde están los otros niños?
Con el papá para allá adentro.
Ah, ok. Entonces vinieron todos como familia.
Sí.
Son 5 entonces.
Somos 5.
Ahora, Vienen, do you want me to translate at the same time?
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay, all right. She is from Venezuela. She's here with her husband and 3 kids. The husband and 2 of the kids are inside. She is, they're from Venezuela. They traveled here together. ¿Cuánto se tardaron en el viaje?
Un mes y 16 días.
It took them a day and, a month and 16 days to get here.
Oh my God.
¿Qué peligros pasaron?
En
La
la
selva. México.
México.
The most dangerous place, which they always tell us, was the Panama jungle, as well as Mexico. Mexico has a real ruthless police and immigration. Not so much the cartels, but the police.
And this sweet young girl is so small. How did she react in the jungle?
La
and
niña,
how were they able to?
¿Cómo le fue con la niña? ¿No se enfermó? ¿No tuvieron miedo con ella?
No, gracias a Dios no se enfermaron.
No se enfermaron.
Sí, pero sí tenía un poquito de miedo en México porque me decían tantas cosas.
Ajá.
La gente de México nos decían cosas que ahí agarraban y secuestraban a las mujeres, a los niños.
They went through the jungle in Panama. It was scary. The child didn't get sick. However, they were very scared when they went through Mexico, because in Mexico they told them about how they were kidnapping kids, how they were holding them hostages. They didn't. Cuando cruzaron el río, ¿cómo fue?
Sí, tuve un poquito de miedo porque primero nos lanzamos por una parte donde tenía bastante corriente, pero después nos regresamos y cruzamos por el medio de los 2 puentes.
When they crossed the river here in Texas and crossed into Texas, they were kind of scared because the river was running really high and fast. But they found another area where they could cross that was a bit better and safer, and they were able to cross with the kids.
And how do they feel now that they're here? How are the conditions inside, and how has Texas been?
¿Y cómo se sienten ahora que están aquí? ¿Cómo son las condiciones allá? ¿Se sienten bien? ¿Se sienten
sí,
cómodos?
Me han tratado bien. Gracias a Dios me han tratado bien, no me han tratado mal.
¿Y cuándo salen? ¿Para dónde van?
Vamos para Washington.
They're going to Washington, D.C.
Nos vamos mañana.
They're leaving tomorrow. They've been treated real well inside. ¿Ya tienen el pasaje?
Sí.
They already have their tickets to go to D.C.
And the food that they've been given and the cleanliness is good?
La comida y está bastante limpio allá adentro para
sí.
se sienten, yeah.
Sí.
She says it's
Well, that's good.
clean enough. Entonces, ¿qué les diría a la gente allá en Venezuela? ¿Que vale la pena venir?
Es duro, sí es duro, pero para un mejor futuro es bueno. Para los niños, para que estudien.
She would tell people in Venezuela that it's a tough trip, but it's worth it because they have a better life. They will have a better life. ¿Y tienen familia esperándolos en Washington?
Tenemos una prima, pero no nos va a recibir todavía porque no tiene mucho tiempo.
Okay, they're gonna.
Cousin that she doesn't know that well.
But they don't know if she's gonna have room for them. Muy bien.
Whoa.
Muy bien. Entonces, muchas gracias. Vamos a hacer otras entrevistas.
Y sobre la frontera que está cerrada.
She's asking me about the situation at the border now that they're closing it. Están cerrándola para.
They're closing the border?
Well, that's what they've been told. I'm going to explain.
Porque con nosotros venía un primo, a un cuñado mío, hermano de mi esposo. Y nosotros nos entregamos
soltero.
Y nos entregamos el 9, a nosotros nos soltaron, nos hicieron el proceso, nos soltaron el martes. Nos entregamos un domingo y nos soltaron el martes, pero él no sabemos nada de él.
They crossed on Sunday. They were brought up here on Tuesday. They don't know about this single male cousin. He was separated and sent in another direction. Lo que están haciendo, I'm going to explain her, lo que está pasando es que a los varones solteros, los están regresando y no sabemos exactamente qué va a pasar o cuándo los van a dejar.
Sí, yo miré
Tienen
un
que
video.
esperar en México para cruzar.
Sí, yo miré un video y casualmente en ese video que vi en TikTok salía el cuñado de nosotros y estaba del otro lado.
She saw a news report, and in the news report, the video, it showed her in-law, her brother-in-law, and so they're worried as to when he's going to be able to come across. They're letting families across, but not single men. Pues lo único que les podemos decir es que es la política nueva y esperamos que puedan ser reunidos.
Sí.
Yep, I'm explaining to her that that's the new policy and hopefully they'll be reunited sometime soon. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
Bye.
Hola, estamos haciendo entrevista. ¿Podríamos hablar con usted?
Pues claro,
Okay. ¿De dónde viene?
de Colombia.
She's from Colombia. ¿Cuánto te tardaste en el viaje?
Yo me tardé aproximadamente 10 días.
Took her 10 days to get here from Colombia. ¿Y por qué tan rápido? ¿Volaste o cómo le hiciste?
Volé
¿De dónde a dónde?
de Colombia a México. De México sí pasé ya, tuve una travesía bastante larga.
She flew from Colombia to Mexico, and then from Mexico she journeyed up through here. ¿No tuviste miedo en México?
Sí, mucho miedo.
She was really scared in Mexico.
Nos decían que podíamos, yo vengo con niños, entonces
She's got kids.
nos decían que
You look
era
very
muy
young to have
peligroso.
kids.
Sí.
¿Cuántos niños tienes?
Tengo un niño de 3 años, pero mi hermana también viene conmigo y tiene una niña de 6.
She has one child, 3 years old, but then she's with her sister who has another child who's 4 years
¿Cuántos
old.
Sí.
años tiene?
¿Cuántos años tienes tú?
Yo tengo 21.
She's 21. She's 21. ¿Y venían solas ustedes o venían con hombres o con familia?
Bueno, veníamos con el esposo de mi hermana, pero aún así todavía teníamos mucho miedo.
They came with her brother-in-law, with her sister's husband, but they were still very scared. Ya que están aquí, ¿a dónde van?
Yo, en lo personal, me dirijo hacia Chicago.
She's going to Chicago. ¿Qué
Tengo
tan
familia.
pronto? ¿Ya tienes boleto o estás esperando arreglarlo?
Bueno, estaba esperando arreglarlo, gracias a Dios ya pudimos solucionarlo.
They were hoping to get it quicker, but today they've gotten it resolved and they'll be heading out.
Did she
Llevamos
choose
3 días.
Chicago or they're sending her there?
¿Te dijeron que tenías que ir para Chicago o tú escogiste ir a Chicago?
Bueno, yo escogí ir a Chicago porque yo tengo familia ahí.
She chose it because she's got family there.
Alguien que me puede ayudar
Because
aquí.
she's
este
got a
país.
sponsor that can help her there too. Muy bien. ¿Y el resto de la familia? ¿Los
También
demás?
vamos todos a
Todos,
a-
the whole family, all of them,
Sí.
including her brother-in-law, all of them are going to Chicago.
La gran preocupación de todos es que no tenemos nada y hace mucho frío ahí ahora.
Their biggest worry is that they have nothing, and it's going to be cold in Chicago. They already know, so she's worried about that. Pues, y tienes otra más familia ya que va a venir de Colombia o no?
Pues no, vamos a ver, estamos esperando a ver si nosotros nos estabilizamos y podemos ayudar a nuestra familia.
¿Qué, son colombianos o son venezolanos que vienen de Colombia?
Somos colombianos.
They are from Colombia. They're not Venezuelans. They are Colombians. Y entonces, ¿cómo te sientes de estar aquí?
Pues me siento mucho más tranquila. Me vine de mi país porque fui amenazada por grupos armados. Entonces ya.
She left her country because she was threatened by an armed group, but she feels a whole lot more safer here. She's happy that she's here.
Y ya nos sentimos un poco más tranquilos por nuestros babies.
More than anything because of the kids, she feels it. She feels good. Muchas gracias.
Gracias a usted,
Ándale,
que esté
pues.
muy bien. Chao.
Muy bien. Muy bien. I'm fascinated with this group of folks that are over here, these men, of what's
Yeah, what are
going
they
on up
doing?
there. I don't know. I am not sure, but I'm kind of fascinated with what's going on over there.
The cops are doing nothing.
Yeah, well, again, you know.
They've been told not to.
Well, they not only have they been told, but the DA here in San Antonio is also one of those George Soros DAs, and they've lessened the penalty for the amount of drug that you've got to have. So, in many cases, you know, the police don't want to get involved because they don't even know what amount of cocaine or marijuana or whatever they've got. You know, so. It's really an absolute disaster what is going on with this situation. But let's. How about these young men that are over here?
Sure.
I'm fascinated with these young men.
Anybody you wanna?
Yeah, let's go over here. There's a
It's
group.
very
there's a
sad
group
that
of
young
them.
mother and the little girl. I mean, I can't imagine that little child going through a jungle.
Yes, we have seen. In fact, most of the people that we've talked to, that have brought children with them, have experienced health problems on the way. I
Like
was
what?
surprised. Diarrhea.
We get cholera or what's the?
No, they usually will have some kind of, you know, typhoid or something like
Typhoid,
that.
right.
Typhoid fever. Perdón, estamos haciendo entrevistas para el internet.
Venimos por ahí para invitarnos una pizza, una hamburguesa.
Sí, o no, o quieres, no, nos estás ignorando, es lo que está pasando.
Ah,
Nos estás ignorando. ¿Podemos hablar con ustedes? ¿O tienen algo que esconder? Nomás díganos. Si no quieren que estemos aquí, nos vamos.
mano, en la esquina
¿Qué
de
pasó?
allá.
Nomás estamos haciendo entrevistas.
No, tranquilo, gracias, hermano.
¿Cómo? Ah, eres cubano. Ah,
Sí,
ok.
everyone
¿Todos son
discuss.
cubanos? Ok. No. Yo conozco los acentos. No me digas. Sí. ¿Es tu carro?
El de mi amigo,
¿Cómo?
de mi amigo.
¿Es tu carro? ¿Tú vives aquí o vienen de...?
Yo vengo de Venezuela también, pero ya tengo tiempo ya,
¿Pero ya tienes carro?
gracias a Dios.
¿Cuándo viniste de allá?
Hace como un mes y medio ya.
De Venezuela. ¿Ya te hiciste de carro?
Gracias a Dios, el que trabaja y el que le va bien, Dios lo ayuda.
¿Y por qué te viniste de Venezuela?
Cosas que pasan, la economía, estamos, como quien dice, en un país crítico de todo y por eso tenemos que emigrar.
¿Y tú cuándo viniste de Cuba?
A ver si Venezuela.
¿De Venezuela cuándo viniste?
Llevo ya un mes y medio también.
Y llegaron aquí y luego
Sí, llegamos aquí. Ya nos tocó salir. Los 3 días salimos.
salieron. They all came from Venezuela. They've been here about a month and a half, but they've been working hard and they own the car. They've been prospering.
What kind of work are they doing?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
And they're not telling you.
Yeah.
Seems like
¿Qué clase de trabajo hacen ustedes?
Yo trabajo en el roofing,
En roofing. ¿Y tú?
Construcción.
Construction
Day
and
laboring.
roofing, day laborers. ¿Y han visto a otra gente que vengan a levantar a gente para que se vayan a trabajar durante el día?
Pues, la verdad lo que le digo es mentira porque yo vivo en otro lado, yo tengo mi trabajo, ya estoy gracias a Dios bien, tengo mi patrón y me voy para mi casa. Acá estoy visitando a mis amigos, pero ya me voy ahora.
Okay. ¿Y ustedes acaban de llegar o también están aquí? ¿Están esperando a otra gente?
No, estamos como conversando, hablando.
No más que no.
Sí.
They are all together. They've come from work. They're just hanging out.
Have they heard Joe
they
Biden's new decree that they're going to kick out male Venezuelans?
¿Han oído de la política nueva que van a expulsar, quizás deportar a hombres solteros venezolanos? ¿Han oído de eso?
No.
Okay, eso es algo que el presidente, they haven't heard about it, es algo que el presidente puso la semana pasada. Y hombres solteros, bueno, solteras también, los van a mandar para México.
Yo me hago una pregunta. ¿Qué privilegio tiene un hombre soltero y un hombre casado? Sí, todos somos seres humanos, todos somos de carne y hueso.
Pues
¿Cuál es la preferencia que hay entre eso?
según la política, que no quieren dividir a la familia. Si tienen familia, no la quieren dividir. Okay? He wants to know what's the difference between a single male and a married male if both of them are human beings. Eso es la pregunta. Es la pregunta para el presidente. Todos hemos estado preguntando por qué de repente quieren. Para nosotros es pura política, para nosotros es una situación donde hay elecciones y quiere quedar bien.
Claro.
Y
Sí,
por
pero
eso.
¿Para qué entonces permitió dejar entrar a migrantes acá?
Es la cosa.
Para hacer eso, porque eso es una maldad prácticamente lo que está haciendo.
Es cierto. Es cierto. He's questioning why did they let him in the first place then if they're gonna
It's
kick
an
him out.
excellent question.
Muy buena pregunta. Y por eso estamos haciendo las entrevistas, porque
Sí, claro, no.
mucha gente los engañaron
Sí, obvio.
y ahora quién sabe qué va a pasar, pero
No debería, porque se supone que nosotros estamos en proceso migratorio,
sí.
en proceso de asilo.
Y por eso la política nueva que pusieron dice que puedes pasar por el proceso, pero lo tienes que hacer en México.
Imagínate.
I'm explaining to them that they're still going to be going through the process. They're still going to be processing their immigration status and their immigration paperwork, but they're going to have to wait in Mexico now. And they're not happy about that.
I wouldn't think they would be,
No.
but
Sí. Y es quién sabe, quién sabe. Venezolano, creo que a los cubanos también, y creo que a los nicaragüenses también los van a tener, pero nomás hombres solteros.
Pero lo van a deportar aquí.
Dicen que, bueno, usan la palabra remover. Para nosotros quiere decir deportar, porque si te mandan para México, pues es una deportación,
Pero
¿que
es
no?
que no puede hacerlo porque ya nosotros estamos acá adentro. Y ya nosotros estamos metidos en el programa, ya nosotros estamos
Sí.
metidos en sistema, ya nosotros estamos en proceso de asilo.
Sí.
Mejor dicho, nosotros ya estamos en proceso de papeles
Ya.
permanentes, no legales, permanentes.
Sí.
¿Entiendes?
Es cierto. He's arguing that they're going through the process. Why are they moving them to Mexico? They're going through the process. Y creo que estábamos hablando con una señorita y nos dice que a su cuñado no lo dejaron cruzar la semana pasada. Y él es cuñado, está casado con la hermana de él y no lo dejaron, quién sabe. No sé qué están
Sí, porque
pensando.
es una maldad. Imagínense toda la cantidad de migrantes que pasamos.
Yeah.
Pasamos mucho.
He's just really upset that so many have come in and now they're gonna deport them. Es la cosa. Ese es el problema con lo que ha pasado, es que no hubo como que invitaron a gente a que cruzara y ahora no saben
Pero es
qué
que
hacer.
si usted se pone a ver, ese fue el peor error que pudo haber hecho Biden.
Sí,
Recibir tantos migrantes.
exacto. Bueno,
Ese fue un error grandísimo.
quién
what's he
sabe.
saying?
Porque
That
si él fuera inteligente, él fuera hecho
He says that
ese
that was the
proceso
worst,
múltiple.
the worst mistake that Biden could have made to allow them to come in, and now they're going to be kicked out. And they're just.
that wasn't the worst mistake that he made, but it's a bad
It's a
one.
bad one. The worst one was letting so many people in.
So these guys look healthy, they have skills, they have obviously the capability of putting together enough money,
Yeah.
even here, to get a car. Why did they leave?
Son jóvenes, tienen habilidad, están fuertes. ¿Por qué salieron de Venezuela?
Pues, como yo le comento, usted sabe que en Venezuela un sueldo no alcanza para nada.
Un sueldo de un mes para comer 2 días.
Because they had to work for a month to eat 2 days. The economy was just. Es la economía, completamente la
Exactamente,
economía.
No tanto que nos vengamos a Estados Unidos para tener carro o moto, no.
Sí.
Sino que uno busca una mejor vida económica.
Because
una mejor
they
estabilidad.
need a better life. They're just looking for a
Sacar la
better life.
familia adelante. Nosotros tenemos hermanitos pequeños que no los queremos ver pasar por lo que hemos pasado nosotros.
Ahora mucha gente tiene miedo. Muchos americanos, norteamericanos ciudadanos, nos han dicho que tienen mucho. Por eso andamos haciendo estas entrevistas, porque queremos que conozcan quién está cruzando. Muchos tienen miedo que están viniendo jóvenes que van a hacer pandillas o que van a crear movidas criminales. ¿Qué piensan? ¿Qué les dirían ustedes a la gente que les tiene miedo? Porque hay mucha gente. I'm asking them that a lot of people are afraid of young men, and they are young men, and I want them to tell them, what do you tell these people who are afraid of you? ¿Qué les dirían ustedes a
Pues
esa
la
gente?
verdad yo le diría a esa gente que no tengan miedo, que los buenos somos más, ¿me entiendes? Que acá nosotros no venimos a quedarnos, ni a adueñarnos de su país, nada. Nosotros venimos a trabajar y a buscar una mejor vida
They
económica
shouldn't be
para nuestra
afraid.
familia.
They're coming just to work. They're not coming to take over the country. They want to be part of it. Muy bien.
Ya las personas que hagan mal o que hagan mal, pues ya que la
Yeah.
justicia tome
There are going to be criminals.
la
Yeah.
represalia con ellos, ¿me entiendes?
But you got to deal with them.
Porque para nadie es un secreto que hay muchos que vienen a hacer cosas malas y dañan a los buenos,
Same.
¿me entiendes?
Those bad apples will ruin it for the good people. Bueno, muchas gracias.
No, tranquilo.
Andrés, gracias.
Listo, que tengan buenas tardes.
Well, George, it's interesting to get that kind of firsthand perspective. And he says there will be criminals, but I disagree with his opinion that we just have to deal with that.
Yeah, really.
I think those are criminals that Venezuela has
to deal
with.
with. Yeah.
And
I
I would
mean-
also say, people who are saying, oh, well, the economy sucks in Venezuela, so we came here, that's different than somebody who's, being oppressed. And, I mean, look, I'm not saying that's not the case,
Right.
but we didn't run Venezuela.
Well,
and
I have yet to
why-
meet in all the interviews that we've done. I have yet to meet somebody who you would say is legitimately a
Refugee, right.
political.
It's just people who say the country sucks, so I decided
Exactly.
to come here.
That's exactly right. And I mean, I worked in immigration. I know the requirements for someone that is going to request asylum, and no one. I have yet to meet anyone who meets even half of those requirements.
Yeah, who just didn't like the jobs. Didn't
Yeah,
like
no,
the
because they
economy.
can't eat, because the economy sucks, because they don't have free speech. We've met some folks who were in the newspaper industry, and they were upset because they couldn't write what they wanted to. We've met a lot of folks who were artists, and again, you can say, well, they were oppressed. Well, not in the sense that they're political asylees. That's not political asylum. They were not folks who were on the hit list for the Maduro government. They are folks who just couldn't
Realize
get
they're
along with
living
the
in a
lives.
crappy country.
In a crappy
that's falling
country.
apart.
That's exactly
And by the
right.
way, when he says, "Oh, we're not here to invade. We just want jobs and to put a drain on the economy," it's like,
Exactly.
well, wait a minute.
Exactly.
So let me do this, because I'm falling into something that I shouldn't do and having some personal feelings about that particular individual.
That's
It's really
fine.
not his fault. He said it.
Yeah.
Why did Joe Biden do this?
Why did he? And that's
It's
a good
Joe
question.
Biden's fault.
Exactly.
And we shouldn't
And they
be,
focus on that.
as Americans, we shouldn't be having negative feelings toward those individuals because they're victims, really.
They were invited. We tolerated it. We invited them. We have rewarded them with coming to the United States and providing some type of process that's not even really legitimate. And now they have the expectation that they're going to stay. And now that you're telling them that they might have to leave, it's not going to. I think we should explain the same thing to these folks that are sitting over here
Let's
and see
do
what we
that
can
and then
get a reaction.
Maybe that'll be our last one, because
Okay.
I'm a little bit concerned about having so much Spanish language stuff. I'm not really equipped to
true.
translate it.
That's true. That's true.
But we'll do this one here, and then we're also losing the light a bit, I think.
Yes.
But it's interesting to see, and we're learning a lot. The cops continue to do nothing,
Right.
sitting there texting. There's different cops today. We had a raptor yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know. None of these people look like. Oh, look, this kid's really young.
No. Hola. Oigan, estamos haciendo entrevistas, entrevistas sobre la... ¿Ya se van? ¿A poco? ¿Tienen miedo o qué? No. Ok. La razón que estamos haciendo la entrevista, no sé si ustedes han oído, que hay una política nueva que el Biden puso la semana pasada, que solteros, varones solteros, los van a mover para México, los van a regresar para México. ¿Han oído de eso?
Aunque yo creo que el proceso migratorio para nosotros es diferente.
No, no. Déjame explicarte. I'm explaining to them the situation.
No, pero yo no puedo dar entrevista porque yo estoy legal acá.
Okay.
Qué pena.
Sí, sí.
Nosotros estamos legales.
What's he say?
They're legally here. They cannot talk to us.
Gracias.
They can't do the interviews. They cannot do
Why?
the interviews.
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué? ¿Qué?
That sounds like a gang leader telling you all it's time to
Yeah,
leave.
right. All of a sudden, they said that they can't talk to us. Well, there you go. And then these folks over here fled as well.
Yeah, they don't want to be on camera.
They don't want to be on camera. I mean, we used to not have any problems in talking to people, and now.
Well, but
all
let's
of a
think
sudden-
about something that you said. This might have been before we started rolling. You told me that nobody was coming over here until this whole story broke with
Yes.
Ron DeSantis.
Right.
So now that's attracted not only MSNBC and CNN and everything, opportunistic criminals who
Definitely.
are from the countries that these people are from are going to be able to come here and say,
Exactly.
hey, we'll take care of you, join us.
Exactly.
This is how gangs get formed. That kid was
Exactly.
5 who was hanging out with them.
Exactly. The situation also is one where a lot of Democrat operatives here in San Antonio have come over here and told them not to talk to anyone unless they are with them.
Right, because the
They are
truth
being
will
coached.
get out there.
Yes, they are being coached by a lot of
Now,
folks.
this
that
is a
have been
very
here.
expensive car. It's an electric BMW
There you go.
i3.
There you go.
Are they shopping here? It's got dealer plates on it.
Huh.
And that's not a new car. That maybe it's just somebody got a pre-owned,
Yeah.
certified pre-owned.
The and again, you've got a gentleman sitting here in this car. I'm not sure waiting.
Looks
for
like he
what.
got it from a police auction.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's got.
These guys all look like they're sitting here waiting to do something not good.
And as the evening comes, as the evening falls,
I wouldn't want to be
you
around
see
here.
more and more. That's why the neighbors, these neighborhoods over here, are very, very worried, because
How long until there's a home invasion?
well, and that's it. That's it. I mean, they have knocked this particular lady that we spoke to over here on the house at the end of the block, at the end of the street here. She is a single elderly lady, and they have knocked on her door asking for food in
That's
the past.
terrifying.
And it is. And what's very interesting is that she has told us that she's a lifelong Democrat. She's very, very liberal. And at first she was talking about how, she justified this center, but now she's terrified. So welcome to reality.
So will she be voting Democrat?
That'll be a good question. She wouldn't answer that, but Bob and I asked her.
That's pretty funny. Well, you and Bob are doing tremendous work over here, George, and I really want to encourage people to visit the Bob Bishop YouTube channel and also to
George Rodriguez, El Conservador.
El Conservador. And you've got elconservador.com, don't you?
Yeah, that too, yes.
It's a perfect way to get to George. And I mean, it's very interesting to see what's going on over here. I feel like you're right. We're here at an inflection point, and I think I have a similar feeling to what I was getting in New York. I don't feel imminently in danger standing here right now, but this is a dangerous place
It
that's
is.
going to get more
It
dangerous.
is. The number of people that are coming in is not slowing down. Plus,
The
these folks
attitudes that we're
are
seeing,
now going to understand that they might get deported,
they're going to become desperate
and they're going to become desperate. They're going to become very, very desperate
and angry,
Yeah.
maybe vengeful.
Well, I mean, these folks right here that we were talking to a few moments ago, the gentleman was getting very, very angry because Biden, he feels betrayed by Biden.
as he
no
should.
kidding.
I mean,
No kidding.
I didn't have any expectation of Biden, so I don't feel betrayed, but we are betrayed by Joe Biden.
Yeah. So it'll be very, very interesting how this continues to play out and how this works out, because these folks, I mean, it's not slowing down, and let's face it, they don't have any intention of going back.
And there just doesn't seem to be a plan here to even administer this properly.
Exactly.
Administrate
Anybody who
properly.
thinks that we should just pick them up and send them back needs to come here and understand
not that easy.
it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy,
No
especially
one's going to go quietly.
especially after they start spreading out into the community. Here's another truck with one of the city
one
trucks,
going that way.
and there's another one going that way. That one probably going to the
Just fanning out all over the place.
That one's probably going to the airport with.
This is a drip, drip, drip
Oh,
operation. It's not a million people invading in a day.
No,
But
no.
what's going to happen is we've got essentially, it's almost like an embedded force,
Yeah,
right? It's
It is.
a stay behind. It's like a gladio operation happening, and we're watching it while it's
That's
happening.
exactly right. That's why I call it the second phase, because the first phase has been the breaching of the wall, the breaching of
And
the border.
The horse is out of
And
the barn
that's
with
it.
that.
That's it. And now that they're here, now what? Now what? Because just like we spoke to these guys a little while ago, they have no intention of going home. They have no intention of leaving.
And I would also say, just even in the span of the short time since I was here with Bob, this is a less friendly crowd.
It is. It is a lot less friendly. When we first came,
Everybody
3
was
months
smiling,
ago,
wanting to
people
talk
were
to you.
smiling.
Oh, he's
they were
speaking Spanish.
They were thanking us for
They
letting.
thought you were part of the crew.
Yeah,
here,
they were
probably.
really, really happy, and just at ease, and they wanted to take pictures with us. Now, now nobody
Well,
wants
we
to talk
see
to
they
us.
walk away as we
Yeah.
approach them.
Now they don't want to talk to us. Now they're almost belligerent in their attitude, and this is not good for America.
Those 5 guys over there were some among them that wanted to attack us.
Oh, gosh,
and they
yeah.
didn't, because they knew that would be the end of their stay
Yeah,
here.
right. And they are, again, they are convinced that they're going through a legal process. I can guarantee to you that the process that the Joe Biden administration has set up to take care of these people, to allow them temporary asylum, the only thing they've done is it's all been done with an executive order, just like the DACA, just like the Dreamers. It is not valid. These folks could be picked up by, or should be picked up by immigration, customs enforcement, and deported.
I
But
just
it's
don't
not
think
happening.
they have the capacity to do it.
Well, not to mention they're not being allowed.
Right.
The Biden administration does not allow ICE to do its job anymore.
Exactly. Well, George, as the sun sets, I think it's in our best interest to probably close out this episode. I really appreciate you meeting me over here today.
The sun
and
sets in the west here in Texas.
It's a beautiful sunset there, and I really appreciate the work that you and Bob are doing. I appreciate you coming over here to speak with me today.
It's great.
I hope
Thank you
that
very much.
people who are enjoying the road trip will consider becoming a sponsor and keep Crowdsource the Truth going. You go to subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. And thanks again, George.
You got it.
Have a great night,
Thank you
everybody.
very much.
Thanks for watching.